Peggy 3.
Welcome back, you're watching The Boot Room. I'm Matt Cuttle, this is Darren Cross from Match Magazine, and this time we're looking at shooting, but one thing in particular, aren't we, Darren?
Yeah, we're going to cover creating the space to shoot. I think it's going to be really useful if you often find yourselves in situations where the game's really tight and you just need to create that one chance to get a shot away and goal, and hopefully these tips will help.
So what's your first suggestion for creating a chance?
Yeah, the first move is one that I use a lot, and I call it the pushback.
Yeah.
So this is really about taking a touch back in the direction the pass has come from. So imagine I've got a striker who's kind of side on or facing the goal. The ball comes into him and I take a touch back the way it came from, instead of taking a first time shot. So what's happening here is if I'd taken a first time shot, there's a good chance it would have hit the defender who was marking me. By taking that one touch back in the direction it came from, there isn't time for the defending player to adjust and get back into position to make a block, and that can just buy you that stride of space, which is all you need to then get a good shot away at goal.
Now, is this something you should mix up with actually sometimes taking the shot straight away?
Yeah, you can mix it up. I think it's just really for those key moments, maybe it's the last few minutes of a game, that's when I've used it, and I think, I just need to find a way to get a shot on goal here, and that's when it's really useful. I mean, obviously, depends on the game situation. You might want to keep possession and hold the ball, turn and link up. The choices are yours. It's really about being unpredictable, and as I say, this is just for those moments when you've just got to get a space so that you can get a shot in on goal.
So what's your next tip for creating space?
It's the weak foot turn. So this is all about appearing to be predictable but then actually changing at the very last second. So for example, let's say I'm using a player that's well known for having a dominant right foot. I will shape like I'm about to take a shot with him, and then at the very last second get it back onto the left foot and take a shot from there. This works on a number of levels, but it's particularly effective if the player has a 4 or a 5-star weak foot. Sometimes you get defenders that recognise that a well-known player is dominant with the right but perhaps doesn't know that they're so good with their other foot as well, and it's just that being unpredictable again, and what I'm really trying to do is almost make the player think that he's read the play. It looks for all intents and purposes like I'm about to shoot with my right foot, and then at the very last second I've turned onto the left and gone for a shot then.
Now your next tip is fairly similar, isn't it?
Yeah, it works along the same lines of making the defender think that I'm going to take a shot, and that's the fake shot, stop and go. So the way to do this is to power up a shot with the shoot button, cancel by pressing the short pass button, and then let go of the left stick. That will make your player stop momentarily, and then it's just a case of running again in the direction that you want to go, ideally onto the same side as your strong foot, so you can take a good solid shot at goal.
Now the final tip you've got for us is using the heel chop, which is an unconventional method of doing it, but I use the same method that you taught me because it's simple.
Yeah, so it's a 4-star move, and you and I both do it by holding the left trigger and then doing either the fake shot or the fake pass move while holding a direction on the stick. That will do a heel chop with 4-star players or above. The other way to do it is just to double tap the right stick back diagonally in the direction that you want to chop. But as I say, I do find our way a bit easier.
So how can you use that to create a chance?
So I use it in crowded areas, so it's great inside the penalty area. So I'll chop ideally onto the same side of the strong foot as my striker. It's just about creating a stride of space or more, just to make the room for the shot, and then hopefully hitting the target.
It almost squirts the ball out from under your feet to give you some space.
That's what makes it so hard to defend against. Even sometimes you can read a chop and you still can't really get in the way of it because of the speed that it happens at. And if you do it at speed, you can do it while you're running into the box, and that again makes it much harder to defend against. And particularly in the area, sometimes you'll find that you're fouled, and obviously then you get a penalty. It's a really effective way in crowded spaces to make that yard of space that you need.
All those techniques are very cool, and the other thing about it is there's nothing more satisfying than actually pulling off a goal after you've done some sort of trick or created a chance for yourself. Yeah,
particularly if you've thought about what the other team is thinking you're doing, and then you're doing something different, if that makes sense. So it's kind of appearing to be predictable and then doing something unexpected at the last minute. I think there's a definite sense of satisfaction with that. You've really earned that space then for the shot, and it makes it feel the nicer when it goes in.
Great tips, Darren. Do you ever feel like you need to create space in real life?
Sometimes, mate.
Good, I'll move away. Darren, what we're looking at next time?
Next time we're going to look at some tips for using the keeper more effectively.
Good, we'll be back with those tips soon. In the meantime, don't forget to check out Match Magazine every Tuesday. Details of their Facebook page are on screen now. We'll see you next time on The Boot Room.